news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good evening. Welcome to this evening's newscast on Kaieteur Radio. I am Kevin Smith. Let's get to the news in detail. Junior Public Works Minister Deodat Indar has raised questions as to how Brian Tiwari's BK International got permission for a deadline extension on the $124 million sea defense project at Andrews on the Essequibo coast from the previous Public Infrastructure Minister David Patterson, when he no longer held the post. Minister Indar was at the time responding to comments made by BK's Chief Executive Officer Brian Tiwari. In a letter, Tiwari proffered an explanation as to why works were still being conducted far past the project's completion date. BK gave a similar account as his chief engineer Ganesh Saw, who stated that it was Patterson who instructed the company to focus their efforts on fixing the breached sea defense at Danzig Maikoni. And now let's tell you, next month, GRA will be replacing the current tax administration software, TRIPS 2, with a new tax software, Optimal Revenue Management System, or RMS, to improve taxpayers' convenience and internal operational efficiencies. Optimal RMS is designed to improve taxpayers' experience with GRA while providing a convenient and intuitive online service. And now let's tell you, on the surface, the proposed Gas to Shore project appears to be one of the solutions to Guyana's energy supply woes. But once the veil is removed, the true face of the venture is revealed. It is nothing more than another cash cow for ExxonMobil and its partners. The true likeness and image of the project are harnessed from the terms of the Stabroek Block Production Sharing Agreement. The provisions state that all costs incurred by the government for the infrastructure and handling of excess associated gas shall be at the sole risk and expense of the government and will not affect the amount of cost oil or profit oil due to the contractor. Meanwhile, the 2019 Auditor General's report has revealed that as of 2019, Guyana only has 10 officers from GRA's Petroleum Revenue Department involved in the auditing of costs incurred from the oil sector, even as the billions in bills continue to pile on. Such a small team may not be enough. Only recently, Vice President Bharat Jagdeo revealed that Guyana has in excess of $6 billion in oil-related expenses to audit from petro giant ExxonMobil and Stabroek Block partners, affiliates, and subcontractors. And moving on, CARICOM has expressed their deep disappointment and concern at the decree and subsequent statements by Venezuela with respect to that country's border controversy with Guyana, including intimations of the creation of a strategic area of that should be national development called territory from the development of the Atlantic facade. In a statement issued yesterday, CARICOM said it firmly rejects any acts of aggression by Venezuela against Guyana. It also sought to reiterate in strongest possible terms its firm and unswerving support in the maintenance and preservation of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Guyana. Police Service Commission in talks to settle promotions case out of court. Let's tell you, the Police Service Commission is in talks to settle the court cases over unfair practices in senior cop promotions. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal informed the High Court yesterday that he has engaged Chairman of the PSC, Assistant Police Commissioner Paul Slow, in discussions towards reaching a resolution outside the judicial process. Nandlal told Chief Justice Roxanne George Wiltshire that a meeting is scheduled for Friday with the PSC chair, who is currently in Bangladesh. The AG explained that the chair is expected to join him and the aggrieved and affected parties for a virtual meeting towards finding a solution. And that brings us to the end of this evening's newscast. But before we go, let us get to today's front page comment of the Kaieteur News. When will you demand your pot of gold? Our political leaders want us to believe that oil will deliver a pot of gold. We at this radio station and newspaper, however, believe that our political leaders are bent on deceiving citizens by waving one magic wand after another, but with little to nothing to show for it. Our leaders have betrayed the nation. They have primed the expectations of Guyanese while engaging quietly in secret deals that deprive the country of billions of barrels of oil. The stinking rich Kanji and Kaieteur oil blocks were handed over to friends and cronies. ExxonMobil was handed a deal of a lifetime on a platter. Our leaders are correct. Better will come. But for whom? It is our leaders who will inherit the pot of gold. Guyanese, when will you wake up and say no to what is happening with your oil? When will you demand your pot of gold?
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's Newscast.